Do you want to reach more customers or help your clients reach more customers? Drive down into audiences in order to extract buyers in the marketplace? If so, pay close attention. I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. I was talking with a potential client about the opportunity in a homesteading market. So that's an area that I do have a YouTube channel that has a lot of homesteaders. It has a lot of folks that are into community living, environmental, holistic living type of thing. And they were saying, look, we're going to do we're going to do a YouTube channel as well. I said, look, you can do a YouTube channel. YouTube's great. Social media is great. Reddit, there's some groups there, but don't forget mailing lists. Now, the thing about YouTube is it feels like you're doing something, but what I've learned putting together an audience of about 260 people in about a month to 2 months is that the people on YouTube are there to consume content. Now, some of them will go to a landing page and get on a mailing list, but you're going to have to be in the tens or 20,000 people before you're going to start getting folks that will take immediate action. If I want to sell something to homesteaders or people who are interested in independent, simple lifestyle, that kind of thing, I need to go to a mailing list. I need to go to a publication. Now, mailing lists are available through a variety of environments, but there's a book called the SRDS where you can go and look for different types of mailing lists. I have one in front of me, what's called a media kit, and media kits are available on any website you can buy advertising. And I know you're probably shunning that I'm saying to buy advertising, but if you're just going to post content on social media, post content on your blog, post content on your YouTube channel or Parler channel or whatever channel you're going to post to, that's okay for doing things you know will work, but it's a long, drawn-out, horrible experience if you are in the business of selling something. There are so many hobby producers that YouTube is saturated with tips, tricks, and all the details that make your newsletter, that make your lead offer pretty useless if you're just looking at social media, video, and web marketing alone. But if you go grab a media kit for a publication, you know, those things called magazines. I have in front of me a magazine called Plain Values. Plain Values magazine, had no idea it existed. I was doing a little research for the client. Now, this one is put together by a family that's adopted folks, and they published about biblical ministry, the beauty of adoption, anchored communities, meaning a community that stays there for a long period of time. They're talking about the values that they believe in. They enjoy simple things in life, gathering eggs from a coop, getting our hands dirty to grow food. These are the aspirations of homesteaders online, and they talk about it on Reddit. They talk about it on YouTube. There are popular channels. This publication has 47,000 paid subscribers. These are people who pay to receive this publication in the mail, and I know that 52% of them are business owners, 71% of them are bookworms. Now, what does that tell me? Well, it tells me they may be interested in what supports their lifestyle, but also provides them economic opportunity at their home or in their local community, and they're willing to read. See, this is all the demographics that I can get from my YouTube studio page. I can see what their topics coming along are. I can see all these details, and for $1,500, I can be in front of these individuals on a quarter page. Now, if you look at the CPM of that's cost per 1,000 impressions, it's nothing. If I'm looking at my ad conversion, let's say I have a 0.5% return on that, I might get 7-10 buyers out of that list, assuming I have a really good offer. That $1,500 is nothing. And you could compare or test $1,500 here versus $1,500 someplace else. But the thing is if you're not using advertorials and magazines, and you're trying to get all this free advertising and organics traffic, and you're dreaming of search engine optimization, you will miss out on massive opportunities. For $8,000, I can produce a 2-page spread in Plain Values and have credibility in front of individuals. Now, their rate base is 47,000 individuals, but they have an audience of 330,000 total audience. Now, again, they're in all 50 states, but it doesn't mean you're actually going to reach 330,000. You want to know about your rate base. What's interesting about this publication is it reaches approximately 86% of Amish households across the nation and is growing into non-Amish markets. So this is a niche publication that has experts in the field like Joel Salatin. It has other people who are in the mainstream homesteading community, except this publication goes primarily to Amish families. So now you might be saying, well, Amish, well, they're not going to buy any marketing services. Well, you'd be surprised. First off, Amish are not allowed to go on the internet except for business, but they typically don't have a large computer base to go online. But Amish sell furniture using their websites. So how are they doing that? Well, they are hiring English people or non-Amish people to do this for them. Do you think Amish do pay-per-click? No, they don't. Now, if you want to reach Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or their national markets, you could even test in a small market. So let's say you want to do a quarter page in just one region. That's only $250. So let's say you pick Ohio. Maybe you're going to advertise your web marketing services and you're aligned to ecotourism, permaculture, you're aligned to quality furniture or high-end affluent markets. Well, you could put a little quarter page ad for $250 and reach 12,500 individuals. You will likely generate some leads. You generate these leads, you reply to them by mail, because again, these are Amish. They aren't sitting around on the computer waiting for an email to come in. You reply to them by mail, and if they're interested, they will talk to you on the telephone, or you can visit them in person. But ultimately, this is something that's missed. Now, again, you're probably not selling to the Amish. If you are selling to the Amish, they buy tools, they buy equipment, they buy farm implements. They tend to be non-gasoline materials. If you are in a marketplace where you're selling leather goods, such as tack for horses, now they probably have their own community, but ultimately a space ad, which is considered the most primitive form of advertising in this publication, can affordably reach the audience that you're looking for. Now, this is just one example. This is kind of an extreme example. It's a publication that has a national reach, very affordable rates, 47,900 individual subscribers who pay to receive the publication. It's themed, relevant to homesteaders, but there's Mother Earth Magazine. There's Homesteading Specific Magazine. There's Pioneer Magazine. There are publications offline where you can be sure that your message is in front of people who are highly targeted for what it is that you offer. And since they're reading a physical magazine, there are no distractions. There are no boobs in these physical magazines. There's nothing on the internet that's going to pop up and distract them because they're sitting down, reading a publication, spending more time with your materials. Now, again, you can rent mailing lists and send a direct mail piece. You can have space advertisement, quarter page, half page, full page. You can take your very best sales letter that works online, work it down into a lead generation piece, and then drive somebody to the telephone or to a reply coupon and or to your website itself. This is so important to understand because there are a lot of people, again, what I call spraying and praying. They're going to publish a bunch of newsletters and on an email newsletter list. Oh, good. If you got people on your email newsletter list, that is better than doing nothing. But they're not coming from social media. They're not coming from YouTube videos. They're not coming at the volume or the interest level because there are so many choices available for people online. So very often when working with clients, it's a hard sell unless somebody's really discovered this and they know how it works. But it's a hard sell to say, look, I know the internet's exciting, but let's do this old boring thing that we know works like a champion. Write a sales letter or write a lead generation piece, send it to a mailing list, and then those people who raise their hand for additional information, send them a sales letter. That sales letter then offers them an A/B choice. Buy the product or buy the bigger product. And now you've got their attention. Now you're driving them home. So the the strategy that I'm talking about here really is about focusing on the highest density of targeted buyers. Who is your buyer? Where are they located? And where can they see your message with all their focus on the results that you can deliver for them? You want to go direct. You want to build your own mailing lists. You want to rent other people's mailing lists. You want to do lead generation on all platforms. Then you want to compare cross-channel markets. So you want to use if you do send them to a website, you use a custom URL that gives you some kind of tracking so that you know it came out of a certain publication. You want to know if it came off of a certain social media platform, if it came off a certain video marketing platform. And then ultimately, you can make better decisions because you'll know which generates a lead who turns into a quality sale. And again, man, I've got websites that at one time had thousands and thousands of visitors, suddenly don't have any visitors. Search engine optimization is nice, but when the search engine changes their algorithm, then you're behind the eight ball again, and you got to go back and do more work. When you're going directly to buyers, you're more aligned to a buyer's interests, and you're speaking to a higher density or more people on that list are fit the customer profile. You are going to have better results. Now, of course, you can take your controls that work offline and try them again online. The very best that works offline can go online. Very best of online can go offline. And you can do what we call recycle your marketing. You can keep recycling, and you're going to end up with 3 to 5 controls that you know just work. And now you can go to the next mailing list and send the very best lead piece that you've got. Generate those leads. Send them the very best offer you've got and start getting them in the system. You will grow faster. You will grow more consistently, and you'll have greater opportunities going direct. Postal mailing lists. You can rent email lists, but it's better to sponsor something and ride along with somebody who already reaches your audience. You can even take the channels that drive traffic to your website and market directly on those channels on the video platforms, and then test a channel against a different channel. By the way, the followers on somebody's channel are considered like a list. And if you can access that list, you can test the list and know whether or not that channel is going to contribute to the number of leads and the number of sales that you produce. It's a very powerful concept, but again, some people are so far removed. They love the shiny object. They love the latest tools. They love the search engine optimization. They love the videos, how to make the very best video, and they're not getting any results. And they think it's because of the tools they've got. They think it's because maybe the platform changed. But again, these are all excuses. The only way to know what works and what doesn't is to go directly to your buyers. Figure out who your buyers are. You can even compile a list of ideal buyers, do an audience match, do a targeted paid campaign online, and then based on what you learn from the targeted paid campaign, then make content for organic traffic to kind of reinforce. In fact, if you're making any content, focus on making content for existing customers. Don't bother to try to find anybody else online. Focus on making content for existing customers and then drive prospects to that content directly. Just buy the traffic, buy the access to the lists, rent somebody's mailing list, purchase a space advertisement. Your results will go through the roof. You'll get incredible outcomes. And if you run into a prospect who doesn't want to pay for advertising, then how are you going to get premium dollars for the work that you're doing if they don't value the shortcut of going direct to buyers? I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. If you have any questions about what I've covered here, this is critical. There are thousands and thousands of mailing lists. They're cheaper than they've ever been. Postal really isn't that expensive if you know how to do the math to determine your cost per sale and your cost per lead, your CPM rates, those types of things. You can and will get results. Don't fall for the hype. Don't be distracted by the shiny new objects. Do what you know works and build out from there. Yes, once you have controls, once you know what works and what doesn't, once you know where to target, then you can test that online. And it'll be easier to track. It'll be easier to follow up on. It'll be lower cost on your part. But again, I've been on the internet for like 20 years. It's like going to a bazaar and yelling and screaming about your product, standing on a soapbox and telling everybody how great you are, rather than just inviting people to the store who already want to buy what you got. Anyway, as you check out these materials, as you're a subscriber to Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips, we're always open to your questions. I love to hear your perspective, and I love to hear the challenges that you're having so that we can deliver better value. On the website at www.adbriefings.co.uk, you will find additional resources, a paid newsletter that we go into a little bit more depth about these topics, and an opportunity to ask your questions. You don't have to be a paid subscriber to ask questions. Simply go to the contact page and ask your questions. Ad Briefing's here to help you write better copy, to help you more profitably run the business of copywriting, and to help you grow your agency, your services, so that you can deliver top dollar, so you can get 7-figure, 8-figure agency out of the activities that you're doing. Again, I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.